Hello, and welcome to the Earth Trust podcast, where we explore inspiring stories of people and projects that are making a positive impact on our world. I'm Susie Kemp, and in this episode, we're highlighting the progress of an exciting environmental education initiative that's transforming the way young minds engage with the natural world. Studies have shown that while there is widespread concern for the environment, active engagement with nature is still lacking, especially among children residing in urban areas and underserved communities. Thanks to the generous support from Brickability Group Foundation Trust, Earth Trust launched the Inspiring Future Green Leaders programme in September 23 to lead an environmental education and experience programme for children in Reading schools. Extending through to 2026, the project hopes to help us reach over 800 children who may otherwise have limited access to green spaces, engaging them in real-world STEM learning and forging strong connections between these young minds and the natural world. We aim to light a spark of wonder, curiosity, and, we hope, inspire them to see themselves as leaders who can make a real difference for our shared future. 240 Green Leader trainees from 4 schools across Reading, EP Collier Primary, Caversham Primary, Coley Primary and Caversham Park Primary, have now visited Earth Trust and taken inspiration from their discoveries to embark on their own school sustainability projects. Stuart Ritchie, our Education Manager at Earth Trust, has been leading the programme and is visiting each school to help them implement their green space improvements. Stuart joins us now to give us an update on how the school projects are coming along. Stuart, hello. Thank you for joining me.
Hello.
Can you just give us a bit of background then about what inspired Earth Trust to develop the Inspiring Future Green Leaders programme?
Yeah, so the project has a few different parts, but the first bit of it is for year 5 and 6 pupils from primary schools in Reading to visit Earth Trust. It's a really inspiring place, and to inspire them to go back to their own school and make changes that either benefit biodiversity in their school grounds or make changes to bring nature in.
Yeah. So you've had some schools visit Earth Trust already. How's that gone?
Yeah, so we're coming to the end of our first year of this project. We've had 4 schools from Reading, about 240 pupils who have visited us in the autumn of 2023. We're now in the second part, so it's spring 2024 now, and we're now going into schools, those same schools, and helping them implement projects that were inspired by their visit to Earth Trust.
Okay, so, and what sort of projects have you seen them doing?
Yeah, so it's been a partnership between Earth Trust and the schools. So the school I was at last week is Caversham Park Primary School, and they were really inspired by our kitchen garden. A lot of enthusiasm about carrots.
Really?
In October. And we've just been in, so they have taken inspiration from other places too, and they now have their own vegetable garden.
Excellent.
That all the pupils in the school can use.
So it's benefiting the kids of all the different year groups, but it's just one year group that's coming over to Earth Trust, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So for the visit to Earth Trust, so far it's either been year 5 or 6 from each school. Some schools both, year 5 and 6. But the project in the school will benefit everyone. Nice.
And this project is for the next 3 years? Is that right?
It's a 3-year project. So we're currently recruiting, if that's the right word, the next 5 schools for 2024/2025.
Okay.
So another 4 or 5 schools will visit us in this autumn coming.
Fantastic. It's reaching so many future green leaders, isn't it?
And it's just seeing how much they enjoy being in a natural green space.
Yeah.
To begin with. But yeah, you see that clear. They're motivated to want to make a change in their own school and in their own lives.
It's having that immersive experience. It just gives them that better understanding of what it is they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And to have plants that pupils can go and look at and study in school it benefits across for so many different things. For science, learning about science, well-being, for food and nutrition.
Yeah, so how do you tailor the environmental education activities that Earth Trust do to align with each school's curriculum and interests?
So the visit to Earth Trust, the class teacher can choose whether they feel that it's best to learn about either biodiversity, climate change, or food whilst they're at Earth Trust.
Right.
But the projects are very much down to what they feel they want to do in their own school. So we are supporting the children, supporting the school through that aspect, that part of the project.
Have you had any challenges in implementing these initiatives in the schools?
So in some schools, they don't have much outdoor space that they can work with.
Right.
One school in particular, we tailored the project so that everything was indoors. So instead of having a new vegetable garden outside, they've got lots of indoor plants, wormery versus wormery for indoors versus composting outdoors. So it's the same. It allows for the same learning resources, but they're just inside versus outside.
Yeah. Has there been any particularly memorable moment or activity from the programme where you've seen like that real enthusiasm sparked in a student?
Yeah, lots of students. We got, after the first visit from one school, they sent us lots of letters and drawings about their memories of carrots.
Oh.
Lots of carrot cartoons, because on the day they all picked a carrot, at least one carrot, and they all took a carrot home and they were chanting carrot.
I mean, that's just kids engaging in their own way, isn't it?
Yeah, huge enthusiasm and being able to pick something, but also to take it home and to share that.
Yeah, it's really nice that one quirky thing that you wouldn't necessarily have thought about is what's really stuck with them.
We came up with lots of ideas to plant stuff, and we also came up with the ideas of having bird feeders, and we really wanted to have lots of different plants in the classrooms and around the school, because plants attract insects, and if we have insects it can help regenerate and keep those species going.
The plants that we did today attract insects, and insects are a really big use in like keeping our planet healthy and safe. And since like climate change is happening, more and more insects are like either getting extinct or like dying, and we need insects to keep our planet running.
A few of the children were using the vocabulary they've learned in Earth Trust when they are talking in the playground about certain things, when they saw the bees, when they were talking about the climate zones, and using this vocabulary was really good to hear because we did not cover everything in our curriculum, so that was kind of extracurricular coverage. And for the engagement, many of them were excited about the dates, where they're going to implement the projects. Many of them brought seeds, cultural, especially that our school is multicultural and we have so many children with different backgrounds, so they were excited to be represented in this project. So yeah, engagement, especially with parents as well. So parents were engaged even more than the children. So there are a particular parent who volunteered when we came to the Earth Trust, and he was so on board with everything, and he was very, very proud that we were part of this.
I was interested, excited about the pond in the front of the school, because I've never seen a pond.
So one of the things we did today is we have installed a pond outside the front of the school to attract aquatic insects, to attract birds. But each class has also got its own mini pond. Tell me about the mini pond.
So the mini pond has lots of vertebrates and healthy plants, and also it has oxygen and lots of resources to keep it healthy. And losing it could actually be quite a big impact, because we do need it to keep our school like more nature healthy, basically.
The workshops today have instantly created some new microbiologists and biologists and people interested in environments. So there's some children that will be fascinated by this, and having these resources in our school will make them even more interested than they have been. So you've already advanced and made some people take a step closer to looking after the world better than it was this morning.
Real world science learning, that's what it is. So it's all about experiments and collecting data.
Yeah.
So working scientifically, that's really key part of the Science National curriculum is learning about what is data, how do scientists know what they know, how do they find out new things, and that all comes from collecting data about the world, about the planet. So during our Climate Culture Day, which we run as part of this project, we set up different experiments to demonstrate how greenhouse effect works, what steps we might take to mitigate against climate impacts in the future.
Right.
Plants is a huge one.
Yeah.
We did an experiment with thermometers measuring temperatures on a sunny day, measuring natural materials, grass versus man-made materials, things like concrete.
Yeah.
It would be much hotter. So if you had a school ground or a city that's too hot, you want more natural materials, more wood, more plants, more grass, more trees, more hedges. And if it's 40 degrees, you'll have a much cooler environment.
And so how do you think the programmes influence students' perceptions of nature and their role in protecting the environment?
One of the key things is food. So much of Earth's surface is used by us to grow food. And often we have a disconnect between the food we eat and where it came from. So coming to a farming environment, a farming landscape, and seeing how farming and food production links to biodiversity and to conservation of wildlife and also climate impacts. Most of us don't visit farms every day, so it can be an eye-opening experience to learn where food actually comes from.
How will you encourage participating schools to share their outdoor learning experiences?
So throughout the project, with that school in particular, the school that I mentioned about us doing most of the project indoors. So we have, that school now has lots of pots, indoor plants, and we give them some indoor plants, but we thought it was very important to involve the children and their families. There's lots of cultural links with plants. People that move around the world sometimes take plants with them, take seeds with them. So the children in that school, they ask their parents for plants, for seeds. It's a very multicultural school, and we ended up with lots and lots of plants that were relevant to those children. Instead of us just buying plants from a garden centre, they've brought their own plants, and now they have a way to have them in school.
So looking ahead, what are your hopes and aspirations for the long-term legacy of the Inspiring Future Green Leaders programme?
This is a 3-year programme, 3-year project that has been funded by the Brickability Foundation. It's a format that really works. So having the visit to Earth Trust and then having that reciprocal visit into a school to implement a project. It's a model that we think is really successful, and we hope that we can continue using that model beyond the scope of this project. So in terms of our long-term strategy, going to schools, helping them, linking up with other organisations as well to help grow that impact in school grounds is really, really important.
You're using your expert knowledge to go in and assess what is viable for what they have available.
Well, it's all about the inspiring the future green leaders. So they came up with amazing project ideas, but they weren't all feasible, either in terms of time or money. With this particular school, we have taken all of the children's ideas for things that they wanted to see outdoors in their school grounds, and we've brought them indoors. So they have their indoor plants, they have indoor ponds. So we've installed an outdoor pond, containerized pond at the front of the school. So that's not accessible during school time. But the children will pass it on the way into school. And from that pond, which has got all sorts of life, biodiversity already, they can go and capture that in these indoor ponds and take them back to their classroom using a microscope, which is also one of the resources that we bought. They can really look at that and really study those creatures and the plants that are living literally now in their classroom. Things to look after. So plants and animals living in those 3 different classrooms. Things to learn from, things to care for, better understand.
Oh, well, it sounds absolutely amazing. It's such a great thing to be doing with so many young kids. I mean, you say you've reached over 450 children already in these Reading schools, so the breadth of the project is going to be really quite incredible.
Yeah, so if you're listening as a teacher or someone that works in a school in Reading, then we want to hear from you. So contact us because we need our next set of schools.
Fantastic. And why is it just Reading schools?
So it's limited to Reading because the Brickability Foundation, the funder, is based outside Reading, and they wanted specifically to give back to the Reading community.
Okay. Well, that's great. Thank you so much for telling us all about it, and good luck with your next school visit and some more comedy vegetables.
Thanks, Susie.
Thanks, Stuart. This story will continue. As these children return to their schools, families and neighbourhoods, our goal is that their passion, knowledge and critical thinking skills will ripple outwards. By supporting action and leadership at the local level, we hope to build a broad network of engaged citizens across Reading and nurture a lifelong love of nature and community in the environmental leaders of tomorrow. To find out more about this exciting project, visit our website earthtrust.org.uk.